Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl dropping in for another mini episode of Thursday Thoughts. So, you know, I had so much on my plate to do today, but I definitely did not want another Thursday to go by where I didn't get to come on for our Thursday Thoughts session together. So, as with each Thursday Thoughts, let's kick it off with just starting with what we're grateful for. I am just so grateful for summer. We're in the Midwest here in Michigan. And so, this year our summer has just been beautiful. And I was out in the yard. I want to say it was yesterday, either yesterday or the day before. So I'm in the yard and I'm just sitting down and I'm looking at some of the bushes in the backyard and listening to the sounds of nature, right? I'm hearing the birds, I'm hearing a couple insects. Y'all know I don't like bugs, but a couple insects. And it just reminded me of being down south in West Virginia with my grandmother. My grandmother, she lived in um, West Virginia in Norfolk, West Virginia. And her house was on a mountain. And her house was like the only house on the mountain. And then she had like 99 steps to get to the top of the mountain. And she stayed there for, um, as far as I can remember, up until maybe she spent, I want to say maybe the last 10 years. She left that house and moved to a house that was at the bottom of the hill. But so when I'm sitting in my backyard, I was listening to the sounds of nature and the smell of the grass, and it really put me back to being at her house. And I can remember her sitting on the porch sometimes, just taking in the fresh air. And it's such a blessing when you can just be in the moment and in awe of how beautiful life is and nature is. I mean, when you look at how magnificent God is, because in the winter, right, in the fall, the leaves fall off, right? It's preparing for the winter, and the trees and everything is looking barren, and everything looks like it's dead, right? That's the way it looks. But in fact, it's not. It's just going through a season. And then in spring, you start seeing it, start sprouting up. And then summer is in full bloom. Hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. So we're just stopping through for, a mini session of Thursday Thoughts. So y'all drop something in the comments. What are y'all thankful for? What are you thankful for? One thing, because I feel like there's so many things that we can complain about and, that can worry us. But let's not lose fact and lose sight on what we have to be thankful for. So let's definitely, um, hey D, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. And then who else? Y'all know I always do the old lady face when I'm trying to read the names. We have D Styles 87, we have D Boy 007, and we have RA Rasela 11. If I got it wrong, y'all, take it with love. Love y'all. Who joined us. And so, just say in comments, like, what are y'all thankful for? And next, so typically on Thursday Thoughts, y'all know I have a topic that I'm going to talk about, but this Thursday is just kind of random. So I'll share with you uh, what I was doing right before I jumped on. So I decided, this week I've been cleaning out my cupboards in the kitchen. I don't know how many of y'all got some seasoning and it's a little outdated. I found some seasoning tucked away in the back of my cabinets, y'all, that was over a year old. So I just started, saying, okay, let's clean out. I cleaned out the cabinets, I cleaned out the pantry. And then right before I got on here, I hit up that freezer. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. I know you're supposed to restock. When you restock your freezer, you're supposed to move the stuff that's in the back to the front and then move the stuff that you just bought to the back. Yeah, I didn't do that. So I was like, I had stuff in there from 23. I'm like, yeah, this ain't no good. So that's what I was doing. And then I thought about it, and I thought that oftentimes in life we need to do a self reflection and say, what things am I holding on to that are no longer serving me that I need to release? It could be material things, it can be people, it can be places, you know. So, what are you holding on to? A while ago, I was holding on to hurt and pain of things from the childhood, abandonment issues with my dad not being around. And I can remember I was holding on to that, and that became my story. And that story became a crutch because I kept reliving the story. I kept feeding myself a narrative about that story. And one of the narratives was, you know what? You're not worthy because if your dad didn't want you, how worthy can you be? As a child, right? Children always are trying to rationalize, and people say children are resilient. Are they though? Or are they just internalizing and processing it? And when they grow older, you start seeing things manifest. That's why they always say things from our childhood, if unresolved and not dealt with, will manifest itself. So I ask you today, what are some things that you think you might need to clean up in your life? Some things that you're holding on to, right? Things that you're holding on to that's taking up space here and taking up space here that's not serving you. So if it's a grudge with someone, release it and let it go. Release it and let it go. Because that negative energy that you hold when you hold on to the grudge, it will eat away at you and it impacts your happiness. And we have that power to dictate how we're going to react to things, how long we're going to stay in a certain emotion. So today, I just really want to encourage everybody that, as I continue to go through each one of my rooms in my house to clean out stuff, Lord knows I might have to call my crew over here to help me when I get to my dressing room, y'all. You know how y'all got stuff in there and you like, oh, this is still some good. And you like, one day, I'm going to have to let that go. So I want you all to go through. Think about, what are you holding on to? What are you holding on to? Whether it was a breakup, or maybe you fell out with a relative, or or family member. What are you holding on to? And then release it. Just let it go. Let it go. And know that, you know what, you're worthy and you're worth happiness. And if you want a life that is happy, less stressful, and more peace, you own that. You have to actively live as a person who is less stressful and want more peace. So that means you have to do things that's going to create less stress and more peace. And oftentimes that means we have to sit and say, okay, we have to do that inventory I talked about earlier and say, okay, well, what's in my life that's not serving me, that's not aligning to what makes me happy, that's not aligning to my values or to my morals. And whatever that is, you need to let it go. And you don't have to give a full explanation. Sometimes you just have to cut people, places, and things out of your life because it's just not serving you. And I'm not going to be before you long because it's already a little late and I'm tired, y'all. I've been up since 5 this morning. But I just want to encourage you to make a list of all the things that matter most to you, most to you. Think about what makes you happy, what makes you feel good. And then take a look at what you're doing every day. Are those things lining up to the life you want, to how you want to feel, to how you want to live? And if it's not, cut it out. Cut it out. Because we actually can live the life we want, but we have to live the life we want, meaning we have to put in action, right? And one of the things that I've been doing this year and putting in action is I have been really dedicating myself to getting healthier, getting in shape, and because my goal is to come up off my cholesterol and my blood pressure medicine. That's my goal. So I'm working on that, and I do it every day, every day. And if I miss a day, I never miss 2 days in a row. Never miss 2 days in a row. So as you're building the life you want, and you're cleaning things out your life, and you're trying to build healthy habits, if you stop one day, start back the next. Continue on your journey. So today, I'm going to leave you with clean out all the things that's not serving you in your life today, because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to feel joy. You deserve that if you want to sit on your porch or on your back porch and just be at peace, that you can do that. Or if you're a person who wants to paint and you haven't painted in a while, you deserve to pull out those paintbrushes and do it. Or whatever your hobby is, or the thing that you enjoy doing. If it's sewing, dancing, traveling, cooking, you deserve it. So make time for what matters most to you. Not what you think matters to everybody else, but to you, because you're worth it. All right, y'all. That was my short but sweet Thursday thoughts. I'm going to keep it brief. And I'll be back next week with a real topic. This was a random Thursday thoughts, but I just wanted to come out here, say hey to y'all, and to wish y'all to be blessed and to be happy, because you deserve it. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.